Jackson, and welcome into Blacksburg, Virginia. Tonight, the 10th-ranked Hokies return home, looking to stay near the top of the ACC standings as they get ready for a battle against the Ramblin' Wreck of Georgia Tech. Taking a look at the latest up-to-date ACC standings, Virginia Tech is currently in third in the conference. Remember, the top 4 teams get a bye in the ACC tournament, and Georgia Tech is sitting in 9th place. Alongside Kat Osterman, I'm Alex Loeb. And Kat, for Virginia Tech, listen, they're ranked 10th in the top 25 national rankings, but in the RPI, they're 19th, so that means this weekend and the entire home stretch is crucial if they want to potentially host a regional in the postseason.
Yeah, the top 16 seeds in the country get to host a regional. Virginia Tech, no stranger to that. They have hosted before, and while Pete DeMoore will tell you they are road warriors, they're tested from going on the road. They'd like to be here in the friendly confines of their own field, but they do need to take care of business this weekend and beyond. And as you mentioned, the ACC tournament is a big piece of that too, because you get a good seating there. You can also add that to your resume for postseason hosting.
It's right around the corner. Meanwhile, this year, the Hokies offense, electric as usual, led by the star sophomore Jordan Lynch.
Well, there is no sophomore slump for Jordan Lynch this season. You see right there, tied 6th in Division I with extra base hits. She has the consistency for average. She has the power. Pete DeMoore will point out, too, she is an excellent defender, and he thinks that gets overlooked because of her offensive output.
33 extra base hits on the year, tied for the 6th most in the country. As for Georgia Tech, they've been relying heavily on a sophomore of their own, Alyssa Willer.
Head coach Aileen Morales has been very vocal about the fact she needed Alyssa Willer to step up, able to drive in runs. You see there the last 3 games, 6 RBIs, 2 home runs. Her power has started to turn on the second half of season. She's been able to drive in the runs when given the opportunity. They're going to look for her to start this game with a bang.
Willer and the Yellow Jackets going up against Emma Mazzarone in the circle, and we are underway from Tech Softball Park. Mazzarone, the junior flamethrower, who's developed into one of the top strikeout pitchers in the nation, Kat.
Well, the left-handed pitcher, that's an advantage in and of itself, but Mazzarone is going to come in with some high heat, upper 60s. She can touch 70, but she also changes speed, so it is going to be quite a task for the Yellow Jackets to figure out which speed are you going to sit on and be able to attack that aggressively. There you see, she upper 60s, low 70s, primarily down, so you're gonna have to stay down through a very good spinning drop ball. Will change the eyes, but it's that change up off speed curve. She has both that she mixes in to keep the timing of hitters off.
Falling behind 3-0, but Mazzarone comes into tonight top 15 in the country in strikeouts per 7 innings. At more than 9 per 7, but behind the leadoff hitter here, Alyssa Willer, the all-ACC sophomore. And there is strike 1 from Mazzarone. This Georgia Tech offense averaging about 6 runs per game, 6th highest scoring team in the ACC. Chop to right field, and the leadoff hitter, Alyssa Willer, is aboard. And Georgia Tech's offense, and coming off some strong performances, 3 straight run rule victories, outscoring their opponents 26-1 in those 3 games. Grayson Tucker has been hot over the last month.
Well, early in season, Georgia Tech getting a lot of runners on, but leaving them on base. Aileen Morales, the 2 athletes she pointed out she wanted to see a little bit more production from. They've been able to step up as of late, and Georgia Tech's going to need that. They're in the conversation of getting into the NCAA tournament. They have to stay above 500, and a couple big wins against either Virginia Tech or Florida State, as those are the only 2 ACC series they have left, could be huge for their resume.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Georgia Tech currently 47th in the RPI. So kind of on the outside of the bubble looking in. They need to get a little bit higher than that while also needing to stay at least 500 or better. They come in at tonight 27 and 22 overall in the year.
Staying above 500 is the first qualification point that you have to check off. But then you have to have the resume, and the better, as you mentioned, you can put yourself in RPI, better at large chances are, because you also have to hold your breath that there aren't upsets in some of the conference tournaments where it's only a one-bid league. Sometimes some of those upsets will then knock off any of the bubble teams.
Well, Mazzarone falls behind to another Georgia Tech batter, Holly Medina, the sophomore transfer from Cal, who has just been so clutch this year. Oh, another 3-0 count. What are you seeing early out of Mazzarone?
Well, right now, Mazzarone just not really having her timing with her drop ball. We've seen it miss in the dirt. That rise ball there, not quite going through the zone. Just has to really find her groove. Sometimes when you throw as hard as Mazzarone does into the 70s, you can throw through your spin. So you have to find that fine line where you have the grip, you get the good spin and the good break, but you still have control over it.
125 strikeouts on the year in just under 93 innings. But allows the first two batters to reach. There's the free pass to Medina. Mazzarone became the de facto ace this year after the graduation of another Emma Lemley, a four-time all-conference pitcher. Mazzarone totally embraced that role. There is the other Emma Lemley. Mazzarone has been putting up the best numbers of her career. The first two hitters on this one gets away from Yeager, and just like that, two in scoring position for Georgia Tech.
Pete Demore was not shy when asking about this matchup. He said Georgia Tech can hit. He credited Coach Morales for the offense she's able to put together, but he said they're going to be able to bang the ball around, but they're also going to do the little things well. And right now, just getting runners on base, getting them over. On the flip side for Morales, this is the type of situation she wants to see them capitalize on early in this game as opposed to waiting around.
Dangerous hitter Grayson Tucker, the sophomore from Georgia who has homered in her last 3 games. A week ago was named National Player of the Week. Count 1 and 2. The previous week, she went yard 3 times in 4 games, drove in 9 runs, and hit a cool .818 at the plate. Just got a piece of that.
Mazzarone using that backdoor curveball. You'll see her primarily go up and down, but right now being behind in the count, using that pitch laterally to hit the outside corner. Big thing for Tucker is to be able to think driving that a little bit more right center. It's a hard pitch to pull.
Waves at that, and again, stays alive. Tucker 3rd in the ACC in home runs with 16 on the season. She has just been on fire over the last few weeks. Locked in a battle here with Mazzarone. Virginia Tech coming off back-to-back shutouts over Virginia and Liberty on the road. This Hokies pitching staff has allowed 1 earned run over their last 22 innings. Did not go around, so the at-bat continues for Grayson Tucker.
You can tell by that take, Grayson Tucker knows the outer half is going to be exploited. Her lower half went, but that upper half stayed still to where the barrel stayed back. She was ready to have to foul off another outside pitch if necessary.
Time is called. 8th pitch of the at-bat now on the way from Mazzarone. And a full count coming up. Payoff pitch on the way from the junior. Mazzarone, 2-time ACC Pitcher of the Week last month. 10-3 on the year. Remember, big wins this year against ranked teams. Getting the start in game 1 tonight against Tech. Ready with the 3-2.
You can tell Grayson Tucker starting to have a plan. Obviously knew the outside part of the plate was where Mazarone was going to exploit. She stayed there for a while. Now that she's behind in the count, 3-2, Tucker a little more free, able to drive that last ball foul, but knows that Mazarone has the off speed and the down.
And the bases will be loaded for Georgia Tech with no outs here in the top of the first. Eileen Morales, her 9th year in charge of Georgia Tech. And a big spot already here just in the first inning, and time will be called as both teams will talk this over.
Pitching coach Josh Johnson out there to have a conversation with Mazarone, and whether it's mechanical or, as we mentioned, hey, pull back a little bit, make sure we can control the ball over the plate before we worry about throwing 70s all the time. Might also just be asking her what she's feeling, because again, 2 walks back to back, but also working behind in the count. That's a lot of times a feeling of, are you not feeling your arm get through? You're not feeling your snap. So a conversation between the pitching coach and his junior pitcher right now.
He's already thrown 21 pitches, yet to record an out. And coming up to the plate with the bases loaded will be the cleanup hitter for Georgia Tech, Addison Leshber. Is Mazarone ready to go? Leshber, the senior out of Texas, has been on a tear, reached in 19 of her last 20 games. A big opportunity for Georgia Tech. Eileen Morales told us, listen, we're going to strike out sometimes, we're going to have some mistakes at the plate, but we have got to barrel up and come up big when we have runners on. And that offering misses from Mazarone.
Well, that drop ball there from Mazarone just never looking like it's in the zone. It's going low to lower right now. Have to be able to start that at least knee height, if not a little bit above.
And there's a strike to Leshber. The corners, meanwhile, playing in for the Hokies. Yellow Jackets all around the bases. Willers singled, Medina walked, and Tucker walked. Job by Yeager hauling that in behind the dish.
Mazarone got even with a backdoor curve that came over a good part of the plate. If you're Leshber, you're wanting to see that pitch again. With that off-speed pitch right there by Mazarone, getting away way up and high, or up and out.
Leshber with 12 home runs on the year, and again, Mazarone missing. And 1 ball away from walking in the first run of the night.
As we see 25 pitches already so far in this game, but 4.36 pitches per at bat.
Up the middle, the toss to second for 1, over to first for 2. So they get the double play. Georgia Tech, however, does score the first run of the night. This is one of the best defenses in the ACC, as they were a year ago. Castine over to Rose to Chatfield. Virginia Tech, number 2 in the ACC in fielding percentage, number 1 last year. Here is Reese Hunter, runner on third with 2 away, and there is a first pitch strike from Mazarone. Each of the first 4 batters has seen a 3-ball count from the junior. Let's see what happens here with Hunter. Chopped over to third, Lynch. And the top half comes to an end. Georgia Tech strikes first. Hokies coming up to bat in the bottom half here in game number 1 between the Hokies and the Yellow Jackets. Here comes Virginia Tech, and the 11th highest scoring team in the nation. They're averaging more than 8 runs per game. Nora Abramovich moved up in the lineup tonight, currently riding a 13-game on-base streak for Tech. Abramovich and the home team will be going up against Madeline Johnson, the reigning ACC Pitcher of the Week and NFCA Top Performer of the Week. The first pitch in there to Addison Foster.
Madeline Johnson really been the ace for this staff, and Eileen Morales will point out to you the staff they have put together had really no Power 4 experience coming into the year. Johnson, a James Madison transfer, has taken on the load and handled it well. I like what Morales told us. She said the last couple weeks she's been on a tear, and it's like we have angry Madeline, and she's like, not in a bad way. So I tell her, just keep staying angry.
This one smashed foul. Addison Foster with an angry swing. The junior from Lockport, Illinois, junior transfer from Stetson, who reached 3 times on Wednesday night against Liberty. And hitting .426 on the year. So many dangerous hitters in this Virginia Tech lineup. Managed to pull back on the swing there and stays alive against Madeline Johnson, who's 13-10 on the year. 3rd in the ACC in strikeouts, right behind Mazzarone. She does lead the conference in strikeouts. Looking, that one tapped into left center field. And the leadoff hitter aboard for Virginia Tech as Foster reaches.
Well, Madeline Johnson going to be mid-60s. We saw some down. You'll see a lot of up. That last pitch, a changeup that was just poked into center field. But when her rise and her drop are on, that vertical separation can be a big advantage. Being able to utilize both the lower and the upper part of the zone allows, as a pitcher, to really be able to keep hitters guessing.
Toss to second, over to first, and they will get one. As Jordan Lynch has been one of the top hitters in the ACC, swinging on the first pitch. So she'll be over at first with now 1 away.
One thing Johnson's been able to get comfortable doing is also switching the game plan. So if they go in thinking they're going to throw a lot of rise balls and she's getting barreled up and or not getting the chase, be able to switch the game plan and go to the drop.
Here is Nora Abramovich, the sophomore, having a breakout year. She started just 1 game a year ago. 16 at-bats, that's it. This season has started every single game and is tied for the team lead in home runs with 13.
Well, Coach Pete DeMore, extremely complimentary of Abramovich and just talking about how she stuck it out. And there are a lot of athletes who feel like they should have played and would have just gone in the portal, jump ship. He said she stuck it out, worked hard. It's probably the best jump he has ever seen from a freshman to sophomore season that he's been here at Virginia Tech.
Some teammates have called her the hardest hitter they've ever seen. Pete DeMore, his 8th season, 2-time ACC Coach of the Year. 6 consecutive trips to the regionals and a lot of success against Georgia Tech, 11-3. Meanwhile, Abramovich was about to head to first, but instead, there's strike 1.
Johnson throws that just at the top of the zone. Great job by Hunter back there.
This time, Abramovich will head to first. So just like Georgia Tech, multiple runners on in the first inning as the Hokies now threatening. Both these pitchers, 2 of the strikeout leaders in the ACC, yet both issuing free passes in the first, the adrenaline flowing. And here comes Kylie Aldridge, a senior out of North Carolina.
Well, and both these pitchers use vertical separation. Both use rise and drop.
Aldridge sends one out of the park. A 3-run blast by the senior. And Virginia Tech jumps in front here in the bottom of the first.
Well, Kylie Aldrich stays with this up and inside pitch, just pulls that right down the right field line. But smartly being aggressive, knowing that she just walked the hitter in front of her, knowing that that rise ball is probably going to have to be somewhere close to the zone, she stays on top and gives the Hokies a 2-run lead.
7th home run of the season for Aldridge. That got the fans out of their feet. Here is Zoe Yeager. This offense, so dangerous. Top 10 in the country in home runs, hits, doubles, batting average, and RBIs. And it pretty much is like that every year for Pete D'Amour.
Well, it's like that every year, and Pete D'Amour was at Missouri prior to coming over here to be the head coach at Virginia Tech, and Missouri was the same way. I asked Pete, I said, hey, I know we've talked a few times over the year, but what is it about your offensive philosophy that allows the power to be so abundant? And he said it's just a matter of getting them to trust swinging hard. I'll tell them, swing hard. I want you to do drills where maybe you even miss the ball. Be okay swinging and missing because you hit hard. So the more we think about hitting hard line drives, if you get under it, it goes out of the park. If you get on top of it, exit velo should be somewhere between 70 and 80 miles per hour. That's hard to field.
That one misses for Virginia Tech. 77 home runs on the season. Nearly 2 per contest.
Well, I'm sure you go down there and talk to the athletes. Well, after the fact, they know they hit a home run. Pete said, we don't talk about the home runs. We talk about hitting the ball hard. I want to know how hard you felt like that ball came off your bat.
I mean, and conversely, Eileen Morales told us, we're not going to beat them with small ball. We need home runs as well. And you go back to the top of the first inning, bases loaded with no outs. They got the 1 run. But in a series like this, a matchup like this, they're going to need more than that against a powerful offense like Virginia Tech.
Yeah, that ground ball double play, while it did score the first run, and if you're Georgia Tech, yes, you got to run in the first inning, but that was a situation where you could have gotten a crooked number if a ball is on a line.
Popped up, and great effort diving by Reese Hunter. These are 2 of the better defenses in the conference, and the senior comes up with the grab.
Well, this flaring fly ball off the bat of Yeager, but Hunter, the only person who would have had a play, Tucker and Leschberg way behind the bag. Nice hustle by the catcher.
2 away from Michelle Chatfield, 2-time all-conference first baseman. Keep in mind, Virginia Tech was held without a home run for their entire series against Virginia last weekend. That had not happened during the Pete D'Amour era. But they went yard 3 times Wednesday night in a non-conference matchup against Liberty. And moments ago, a 3-run blast courtesy of Kylie Aldridge as the count now goes 1-1 to Chatfield.
Right now we're seeing a lot of rise ball by Madeline Johnson. Have to wonder if at the inning break they're going to have a conversation maybe about using that drop ball a little bit more.
Another pop-up. Simon is there. First inning comes to an end, and Virginia Tech delivering the long ball for the 77th time this year. Kylie Aldridge making it a 3-1 Hokies lead. Emma Mazzarone, now with a little bit of support behind her back. A 3-1 lead allowed the first 3 batters to reach in this one and came back, but has just been a strikeout machine this year on the season, 125 Ks.
Well, there you see a lot of drop balls. She likes to go down and into the righties, so that's where you see the blue blocks. But the red blocks, it's that backdoor curve, and then pairing that with a drop, whether that's into lefties or away to righties, a combo that is so hard to stay with. And that's where Mazzarone makes her living, is being able to stay in that lower part of the zone and really expand the corners.
Was originally recruited as a hitter coming out of Pleasant Garden, North Carolina. Just as a hitter, that's it. But when Pete Demore saw her throw in practice one day, he said, "You've got to pitch with that arm. That thing is a work of art. We would be wasting you if we didn't throw you in the circle." And it has paid off for her. A lethal arm. Said she threw 74 on her very first pitch of fall practice. Rest is history. Again, falling behind early to these Georgia Tech hitters, but comes back with a strike here to Paige Vukadinovic.
Well, we saw in the first inning, she got the bases loaded. Only had 1 out, or excuse me, no outs, but it was that double play that kind of allowed her to relax. And then we saw her drop starting to work. She got the double play ball, and then she got Hunter out with that drop ball. So really going to have to relax into letting that spin work, because as you've mentioned a few times, their defense is very good behind her. And Pete Demore pointed that out. Yeah, offensively we're good. We typically are. That's what we're known for. But hey, don't overlook our defense. He was very adamant that this year he can tell the defense is definitely working at a different click.
And you played with some great defenders in your day. How much does that help, knowing you have that strong defense behind you?
Oh, it helps a ton, especially if it's a day like the first inning was for her. You're not feeling your best. You're not necessarily hitting the greatest spots, and you know your defense is going to go all out for you.
Well, no need for defense there. Strikeout number 1 on the night for Mazzarone.
Well, Mazzarone coming back into the count. And this is that drop ball away. It is going down and across the plate away from Vukadinovic. Great pitch. My favorite pitch in the lefty-on-lefty matchup.
1 away for Madison Duffel, freshman second baseman out of Georgia, hitting .292 on the year. And the count quickly goes to 0-2.
Georgia Tech is in fact going to use small ball. You are going to have to stay down through that drop ball. You can't stab at it as it's continuing to sink away from the barrel.
Duffel stays alive. Back-to-back Ks for Mazzarone. Well, tomorrow and Sunday we cap off a big 3-game series between number 2 Georgia Tech and number 3 North Carolina baseball in Chapel Hill. Tomorrow's game starts at noon Eastern. The series finale on Sunday begins at 1 on the ACC network and the ESPN app. Once again, Mazzarone ahead to another Georgia Tech batter, this time Emma Simon. How much of that first inning you think maybe a little bit of adrenaline from Mazzarone?
It could be adrenaline. It could be, you know, again, I don't want to say rust, but didn't throw in the midweek. So it's been since last Sunday that you threw. Just being able to see hitters again. And at the same time, sometimes it's just your timing's off, and it's a matter of being able to regroup. You can definitely tell now, especially with the lefties up, she's getting through her back hip, so she's able to release and throw that drop ball away. It sweeps away from them.
This has been the polar opposite of the first inning, where she walked 2, struck out none, and gave up a single. And 1-2 to Simon with 2 away here in the second. And this is low.
And as a pitcher, that's why it's so important in your pregame bullpen to mimic the first 2 or 3 hitters you're going to see in a game, to be able to get your groove, try to feel your timing. You start to get the emotions and the adrenaline even in the bullpen.
Oh, fooled Simon badly, and Mazzarone strikes out the side.
Oh, that off-speed pitch, that has retired the last 2 hitters. Emma Mazzarone now in control, mixing speeds, putting the Yellow Jackets back in the dugout.
Strikeout pitchers in the ACC, but Virginia Tech broke through against her early in this one. However, all season, Kat, she has been so good in the circle.
Well, as we mentioned, she's been able to mix up and down, and she changes speeds, but she has to be able to be on point location-wise against this Hokie offense, and that's where she fell behind in the first inning, a walk, and then Virginia Tech capitalizing on that first strike following the base on balls.
Facing Rachel Castine to lead off the bottom of the second, the senior second baseman, who has been tearing it up in conference play, leading the team in batting average, hitting .500 in ACC play, .369 overall in the season. And this is outside for Virginia Tech. It's hard to believe the regular season is almost over, and this is only their 7th home game of the year. Their first 29 games of the season were either on the road or at a neutral site. And they have already played 37 games away from this ballpark. Meanwhile, Castine gives one a ride, and the leaping grab is made in center by Medina. Oh my.
What a catch by Holly Medina. Off the bat, this looks like dead center field. It is going to clear. Medina absolutely times that perfectly. Catches, slams in the wall, holds on to it. As soon as it hit her glove, she was celebrating a big first out for Georgia Tech.
You won't see a better catch than the one that sophomore transfer from Cal just made. Holly Medina in center field to rob Rachel Castine of a home run.
A lot of times you'll see center fielders get to the right spot. It's the timing. She timed that perfectly in the air as she caught it, slamming into the wall as soon as it hit her glove. Absolutely incredible catch, and I can honestly say I don't think I've seen many of those when I'm on the field, so pretty incredible to watch it and get to call that.
Both these teams fielding better than .970 on the year, two of the very best in the ACC, and showing off that defense tonight after Medina flashed the leather in center. Here is Gabby Mizell with one away, up the middle. Simon on to first.
Well, despite getting that first out recorded, Aaron Dixon headed out to the circle to have a conversation with Johnson because Virginia Tech is getting the barrel to the ball pretty quickly, making sure her pitcher is really focused on hitting the right corners, the right part of the zone that they're trying to execute to.
2 away for Annika Rose. Mainstay at shortstop. That one's scooped up by Simon, who's just gobbling everything up over at short. Defense was the story here in the bottom of the second. We'll talk to Georgia Tech's Eileen Morales coming up after the break. Back here in Blacksburg as we head to inning number 3. Hey there, fans enjoying it at the Tech Softball Park, and we're now joined by Eileen Morales, head coach of Georgia Tech. Coach, your team struck first in this one. What's going to be the key in this series going up against a powerful offense like Virginia Tech?
I mean, you've got to hit for extra bases, and you've got to hit for extra bases with runners on. So I think there's no surprise there. When we get runners on, we've got to hit the gaps or over the fence.
Coach, a little momentum going your way after that catch in center field by Holly Medina. Talk about her defensive play and that play in general, how it's going to fire you guys up.
I mean, heck of a play out there. Love that. I mean, you know, she says she's a ball hog out there, and she is, and we love to see that. I think, obviously, that creates some momentum, and then we had 2 really nice plays up the middle as well by Emma Simon. So momentum is a big part of this game, so we want to take that rolling into this top half of the third.
I appreciate it, Coach.
Appreciate y'all. Sting 'em.
Thank you, Coach.
Eileen Morales guiding this team a year ago to the regionals for the first time since 2022. And this season, again, kind of on that bubble for the postseason, looking to pick up some key victories. Trailing by 2 as their offense comes up here to begin the third.
Well, and Morales, no stranger to great defensive plays. She was an amazing shortstop in her day, and last year when she had Sierra Simon come in, that was the big push, was the fact that Simon was so good defensively, and everyone was like, it's kind of filling the shoes of solid shortstops from Georgia Tech. But she has praised Holly Medina over and over, both defensively and offensively this year.
Rose at short for the Hokies. Wall is retired. Back up to the top of the order we go.
Wall slaps this, just not high enough to get over Rose or beat it out. Virginia Tech, they're going to make the easy plays look easy.
So for Georgia Tech, the first 3 batters of the game reached, including this hitter, Alyssa Willer, who started off the night with a single. But since then, Mazzarone has retired the last 6.
Well, the big momentum breaker, in my opinion, even though it put a run across, is the ground ball double play off the bat of Addison Leshper. As Eileen Morales just pointed out, when you have runners on, you need to find a way to get the ball in the gap so you can put pressure on, allow more runners to be on the move. Even though it allowed them to strike first, it was actually a big momentum shift for Virginia Tech.
Well, listen, the Hokies are averaging more than 8 runs per game. She's exactly right for Georgia Tech to compete. They don't just need hits. They need extra base hits and plenty of them. Swing and a miss for strike 2.
Well, now Emma Mazzarone starting to get in a groove. That's another off-speed pitch. And that off-speed pitch is very deceptive. She throws it like an off-speed curve, and so it will sit in a spot, not necessarily rise or sink, but to a hitter, it looks like it's going to be hard, and that's where you see them way out in front of it.
Each of the first 3 batters of the game face 3-ball counts from Mazzarone. Here's another one. Payoff pitch. Tapped over to second. Castine makes the play. 7 in a row set down. Well, as usually happens in softball and baseball, the player who makes the star defensive play comes up to bat in the next inning. And here is the one and only Holly Medina, who is a SportsCenter top 10 nominee after that stellar grab in center moments ago.
No, I'm going to turn it on in the morning and see if it's on there, because not just a rob, but it's the in the air hitting the fence.
Not just a top 10, but at least top 3.
Has to be up there.
And chopped off the face mask. It looked like of Jaeger. And well, David Reinecker takes off his mask as well as Medina readjusts.
Reinecker knows it went off Jaeger, giving her a little bit extra time to shake it off and regroup. The respect goes both ways. Catchers a lot of times buy time for an umpire when it hits off them, and this time Reinecker doing the same.
Looking out for each other.
You know, I think as a pitcher, calls might be better when your catcher's nice to the umpire.
It can't hurt.
It can't hurt to try, right?
0-2 on the way to Medina. Jaeger, that one gets away from her, so Medina will end up over at first with 2 outs.
This looked like off-speed pitch a little bit. Got, no, just a drop ball, but that cuts down early. Medina way ahead of that. That pitch hit the dirt so early that even as Jaeger tried to pick it, it didn't hop back up. It stayed down under her glove. Georgia Tech with a base runner.
Another one gets away from Jaeger, and just like that, it looked like an inning-ending strikeout. Instead, there's a runner in scoring position. And by the way, officially, that is a strikeout. And then Medina reaching on a wild pitch. So here is Grayson Tucker, awaits the 1-0. A 3rd straight pitch gets away from Jaeger. Kat, what are you seeing out there?
Well, one, right now, these drop balls from Mazzarone aren't getting to the plate. So while Jaeger's trying to frame them, you have to make sure you can find that it gets deep enough to where you can frame it. Otherwise, you got to drop down and block it.
At the sun having any effect? That the pitcher's in the sun and Jaeger's in the shadows?
I don't think so, because by the time Mazzarone releases, she's into the shade as well. I don't think that's playing with her. My question would be, is she seeing one pitch come after getting that ball off the mask? And I think that might be what David Reinecker just said to the dugout is, hey, you might want to check on her. And because those aren't, while the pitches aren't great, those are not just the pitch being not in the strike zone.
Yeah, and those are 70-mile-an-hour pitches that are being fouled off, as one was right off of her face mask the last at bat.
Right, and I think I saw Reinecker kind of look towards the dugout and say something. I think he wanted to make sure, hey, someone go check and make sure she's good after that foul ball, even though it's been a few pitches.
So everybody's ready to go. Medina is now on at 3rd. And here's the 2-0 to Tucker. In there for strike 1. Tucker leading the team in home runs with 16 and leading in RBIs as well with 49. A dangerous hitter. 2-1 popped up. And Chatfield is there. So the Yellow Jackets strand a runner at 3rd. It remains a 3-1 game here in the 3rd in Blacksburg. Tomorrow we have a couple of softball game twos. Number 12, Florida State taking on North Carolina at 3 Eastern. Then back here, it's game number 2 between Georgia Tech and Virginia Tech. Oh, and across the street a few hours before our nightcap will be the Virginia Tech spring football game with their brand new head coach, James Franklin. There's the statue of the one and only Frank Beamer. It is going to be a madhouse tomorrow in Blacksburg. A lot of excitement, a lot of energy, a lot of people coming into town for that atmosphere. James Franklin kicking off his era with the Virginia Tech spring football game, and then we'll rejoin you here from Tech Softball Park at 7 p.m. Eastern as Madeline Johnson falling behind to Addison Foster, who singled in the first. Will you be at the spring football game?
Me?
Signing autographs, yes, you.
No.
Sometimes you take in college football.
Yeah, sometimes. I'm not a big, it sounds so sacrilegious, but I'm not a big football person, even though I am born and raised in Texas. I mean,
Let's say, don't.
everyone will tell you it's all we
Blasphemy.
I know, that's all we breathe down there, but grew up a college basketball family, so, you know,
And
unfortunately.
volleyball, right? You played volleyball?
I played volleyball. We enjoy
Soccer?
watching volleyball. We don't watch soccer as much.
You played, though.
I did, but for my family, March Madness was just the big ordeal. So.
There's a leadoff walk issued, meanwhile, to Addison Foster, who's reached for the second time tonight. Third inning this year has been a big one for Virginia Tech on the season, outscoring their opponents 50-15 in the third.
I think that's telling because a lot of times it is that second time through the order starts. And so for a very good offensive team that can communicate well to each other, you start to understand what patterns maybe the pitcher is doing. You've seen a lot of pitches to get your timing.
And now you have to be careful with Jordan Lynch, who swung at the very first pitch she saw in the first inning. Hit into a fielder's choice. She takes strike 1. Tied for the 6th most extra base hits in the nation. Tied for the team lead in home runs. And currently has 16 doubles. Too shy of tying the program record. And she delivers with a base knock here. Virginia Tech in business in the third. Top of the order getting it done so far tonight for the Hokies.
The other advantage for the Virginia Tech offense, as we said, as they come the second time through, is they are all very similar hitters in the fact you don't have a ton of slappers. They're all pretty much really good power hitting athletes. And so therefore the communication, you don't necessarily have to tailor it and be like, well, I'm a power hitter, so she started me with a changeup, but I saw this. They all are gonna have similar approaches.
Abramovich to the pitcher Johnson. She goes to third and gets the force at third. There's another Virginia Tech hitter swinging at the first pitch, so 1 away with 2 on. But they do get a very dangerous hitter in Abramovich. But here's another one. Kylie Eldridge coming up to the plate. This is what she did in the first inning, launching her 7th homer of the season, a 3-run blast.
When you talk about it swinging the first pitch, it was the first pitch of that at bat to Aldrich that left the yard. And Johnson offering up a changeup first pitch there to see if she was going to get another aggressive swing out of the left-hander.
Aldridge ahead 1-0. She's just such a tough player to strike out. The 4th toughest player in the nation to strike out. 2 Ks in 121 at-bats on the year. She just doesn't get rattled at the plate. All right. Hey, great job, Brittany. Thanks, everybody. We apologize for the technical difficulties here in Blacksburg. Virginia Tech up 7-1 now as we begin the top of the fourth inning. In case you missed it, Hokies offense went back to work in the bottom half of the third. Zoe Yeager with a 2-run double. Hokies scored another run after an error committed by the Georgia Tech defense, and then Rachel Castine drove in a run with a single. And here we are, the home team up by 6. And meanwhile, there's another strikeout for Mazzarone in the circle, number 5 on the night, getting Addison Leshber.
Well, Mazzarone really starting to find her groove. That a very nice backdoor curve right there to freeze Leshber. I think Brittany hit it on the head. As the moment gets bigger and the Hokies become more in control, Mazzarone starts to really settle in and becomes harder to hit.
Reese Hunter delivers a base knock to right field. And catcher heads on over to first. But as Eileen Morales mentioned, and Brittany brought it up, they're going to need a lot of extra base hits to climb back into this one. Georgia Tech averages about 6 runs per game on the season. Here comes Paige Vukadinovic. And tonight with the second best batting average on the team, but retired for out number 2.
Well, heads up play there by Jordan Lynch, as that's a high hopper. Mazzarone was actually under it. Lynch moving towards first. Kindly, I think, told her pitcher, get out of the way. I got this one.
Georgia Tech with only a couple of singles so far tonight, and that is all. There's Madison Duffel, who was a strikeout victim in the second.
This game is such a game of momentum, as Coach Morales reemphasized in her interview with us. The problem for Georgia Tech, they haven't been able to capitalize when they did have momentum, both with the bases loaded in the first, after the amazing catch by Medina in center field.
Duffel skies one to center field, a moonshot that is finally brought in by Foster. An 8-pitch inning for Mazzarone as the Hokies take their 6-run lead to the bottom of the 4th. Power outage moments ago in the 3rd inning here in Blacksburg, but don't tell that to the Hokies. Their powerful bats continued. Got a little help from Georgia Tech's defense there. Miscue at third base. The Hokies pouring it on with 4 runs in the 3rd inning. Yeager with a 2-run double. Rachel Castine with an RBI single. A lot of celebrating going on. Power's back on, and the Hokies offense is back at the plate. Here in the bottom of the 4th inning, the 9-1 and 2 hitters stew up. Rose, Foster, and Lynch.
As they get ready to start 3rd time through the order, Michaela Caulfield, the left-handed junior, going to go ahead and take the circle for Georgia Tech. Going to offer a different look coming from the left side. Does throw a little bit of everything. Curve, screw, rise. Can make it go down with a drop, a little off speed.
Former top 25 recruit in the nation, coming out of Fayetteville, Georgia. 2-4 so far this year.
And there you see the low 60s, going to throw a little bit of everything. Has had some experience against Virginia Tech in the past. But what Coach Eileen Morales likes is just the fact she's able to go compete with all her spins, even though it's not as fast. Some of the other pitchers on staff, she's able to spin it and induce some weak contact.
Gets back in the count, 3-2 to Annika Rose, who grounded out in the 2nd. Rose has just been a terrific defensive shortstop for Pete Demore. And patient at the plate as well. Back up to the top of the order we go.
Well, that's exactly what Pete Demore told us he wants from Annika Rose. That she's gotten caught up sometimes in this home run chase that they have going as a team, and the fact that everyone seems to leave the yard. He said, hey, I just need you to find a way on base. It's not important that you keep pace with the power, but find ways to get on base. And he said her eye has been a key to that, and it starts the 4th off here with a walk.
Addison Foster, who has singled and walked, takes ball 1. Foster has bumped up her average to .431 on the year. She's coming off an incredible March where she drove in 19 runs in 18 games and hit .481 last month. Former Stetson product who was Two-time All-Conference in the A-Sun. Nice addition for Pete Demore. This one into foul territory and a diving grab made by Willer. These Georgia Tech outfielders showing off tonight in Blacksburg.
Well, Holly Medina got herself a SportsCenter play, and Willer says, I'll see you one. On her horse there, leaving her feet, catching that ball in foul territory. Understanding right now, every out that they can get is precious. Gotta love the hustle. And let's not forget, Hunter behind home plate had a nice diving play as well. So Georgia Tech really having the back of the pitchers right now.
And a strike delivered by Caulfield to Jordan Lynch, who singled in the third inning. She's reached in all but 4 games the entire season. Stellar freshman campaign a year ago as a National Freshman of the Year finalist, tied the program record for doubles, and launched 10 home runs as well. And for an encore this year, she's been even better in some of those categories. Pokes one over to second and fielded nicely by Duffel. On to first, not in time. They get one. Well, starting next week, we'll have every ACC Women's Lacrosse Championship game right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. The tournament starts Wednesday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, and the All-ACC crew will have post-game shows after each match. 2 away, 1 on for Nora Abramovich. Walked in the first inning. So far this year, she has the fastest exit velocity on a home run by Annie Hokie. One of her homers left the park at 84 miles an hour.
That's fast. That is fast off the bat.
13 homers on the year, tied for the team lead. Hit one Wednesday night against Liberty. Bumped up in the lineup to the 3 spot tonight.
With the capability of Foster and Lynch to get on base, allows Abramovich more opportunities to drive in runs. Also puts pressure on a pitcher. 3 back-to-back-to-back, very consistent hitters with a lot of power. You can't make a mistake anywhere in that top of the order.
Hitters count for the sophomore. Throw to second, and sliding in safely is Lynch with her 12th stolen base of the season.
Talk about Lynch and all of her offensive numbers and power output, but she can run. Pete Demore will point out, 5-tool player, loves to push the envelope with Lynch.
Sent over to third. On to first, and Abramovich retired. We've completed 4 here in Blacksburg. Virginia Tech up big, 7-1 over the Yellow Jackets. Georgia Tech struck first in the first inning. She's been nearly unhittable since then, Kat.
Yeah, she's able to use her drop ball away to lefties. You see the back door, but Georgia Tech really just guessing where she's going to throw. And right now, she's been able to keep them baffled for the most part. Not a lot of solid contact coming off the bat of the Yellow Jackets.
She's retired 12 of the last 13 batters she's faced, 5 strikeouts. And the 8, 9, and 1 hitters due up for Georgia Tech. And ball 1 to Emma Simon, who struck out in the second inning. We've talked about these great defensive plays by Tech tonight. Simon was on the SportsCenter top 10 last month. And coming through with the bat there, it snuck under the glove of Castine. Yellow Jackets in desperate need of runners, and they at least have one here in the 5th.
Simon does a great job hitting a hard ground ball, and this, even if it was backhanded by Castine, was going to be a nice play. Oh, and as you mentioned, Alex, not just runners, but a leadoff runner on for Georgia Tech is a little bit of life right here in the 5th inning.
They are 0 for 5 with runners on tonight. That was a talking point for Eileen Morales, saying they've got to come through in those situations against an offense like Virginia Tech.
And you know Virginia Tech can swing big and put runs up on the board. One, on the defensive side, you have to try to minimize that as much as possible. But on the offensive side, you do have to play tick for tack. You have to try to keep up.
Count 2-1 to the speedy sophomore transfer from James Madison, Reagan Wall. Big time threat if she can reach. Tapped over to third. Unable to beat that one out as the runner advances. Back up to the top.
As much as Georgia Tech needs crooked numbers and multiple runs, if I'm Eileen Morales, you're just challenging your offense right now. Get this run in. If we get that run in, someone's still on base. Now let's get one run at a time. Somebody runs into one and you can put up a crooked number on one swing. You'll take it, but have to be able to pass the bat and have consecutive good at-bats.
That one, a wild pitch from Mazzarone. Simon heads on down to third. I've seen a few of those tonight from the junior. Hasn't come back to hurt her. Here's one of the best hitters on the Georgia Tech squad. Alyssa Willard came in tonight leading the team in batting average, doubles, and walks. Takes a strike there. Been on a tear as of late. 4 home runs in her last 8 games. Couple last Sunday against South Dakota State. Sends one foul. Long strike.
Talking to Morales about the uptick of Willard's offense recently. She said it's really just been executing her plan and sticking with her plan, not getting out of sorts when she swings or misses or takes a pitch she's not supposed to.
Chopped over to short. They get the shot at first, but Georgia Tech at least plates another run. It is a 7-2 game. Bases empty, 2 away for Holly Medina, who made that sensational grab in center field earlier tonight. Also walked in the first inning, takes one down the line and it drops in foul. Mazzarone threw nearly 30 pitches in that first inning. Has settled down since then. Just 8 in the last frame. Getting close to 80 on the night.
Struck on the side in the second. Extremely efficient, going right at hitters. And your pitchers that throw at a higher strikeout rate, a lot of times their pitch count will be a little bit more elevated than a pitcher who pitches to contact or rolls a lot of ground balls. It comes to mind, you and I called a ton of Texas back in the day. Mac Morgan was just a ground ball machine, and so her pitch count a lot lower than someone who's going to tally 9, 10 strikeouts a game, simply because you work around the zone trying to induce the chase, not necessarily trying to induce the weak contact.
Medina now behind 1-2. Mazzarone has to hurry, spins around. In time, the grab made by Chatfield for the final out of the inning.
Yeah, that's a bang-bang play right there. I think Eileen Morales might ask for a replay, but Medina was on her horse as soon as she saw that she mishit that ball. And in fact, Georgia Tech is going to ask for that to be reviewed.
So we will have our first challenge of the night by Eileen Morales in Georgia Tech. Mazzarone will wait a moment to potentially celebrate. The call, as it stands on the field right now, out at first base.
Well, that was a foot race. Medina had to get down the line, and Mazzarone was coming off the mound and having to turn as a left-handed pitcher.
Or you've been in that spot. How tough is that
Well, it's
throw
hard
to make?
because you have to turn, make the throw almost blindly because you're in such a rush. The key here is does Medina's foot hit? Ooh. Is that heel in the bag? Might be. That's real close. I don't know if it's not conclusive enough for me, but I'm not making the call.
I don't know. I think you're kind of riding the fence there. We need something a little stronger there. What do you think?
Nah.
Nah, not happening.
Let's see. Oh, no, I think they got her.
I agree from that angle. You don't see something conclusive to overturn it.
I think right there is in the glove, and then the foot comes down. That's by a hair.
One more look.
Well, that's about as close to a tie as you can get.
I have completed the review. You can see the outside. That's all you needed to know. Call stands. Medina out at first base. On to the bottom of the fifth we go. Virginia Tech up by 5. Hey, thanks, Jason. We hit the bottom of the 5th inning. Virginia Tech sending the heart of their order up to the plate. That first pitch a little bit wild from Caulfield. Keep in mind the Hokies are 33-0 when leading after 5, in good shape right now. Thanks in large part to Kylie Aldridge, who hit a 3-run bomb in the 1st inning. Another hard hit ball in the 3rd. But it was a long out, lined out. Now ahead 2-0 against Caulfield. Game number 1 of this 3-game set between the Hokies and the Yellow Jackets. We talked at the top of the broadcast the importance of this game, this series, this home stretch in the final few weeks of the regular season for Virginia Tech, trying to get in position to host a regional. Currently 19th in the RPI. Cap, they're 10 in the top 25 rankings. You don't usually see that much of a discrepancy between the RPI and the rankings, but that's the case for the Hokies.
Oh yeah, the Hokies, the record speaks for itself. The downfall for the Hokies is their non-conference strength of schedule is not as high, which now allows the RPI to be lower than their ranking despite the way they're playing softball. But they are still very much in that conversation for a top 16 seed and being able to host regionals. And they're just going to continue to enhance their resume as they go in ACC play as long as they can keep winning. The ACC is the 3rd highest ranked conference when you go for conference RPI. So playing in conference will help Virginia Tech out. After
Aldridge was retired, first pitch in there to Zoe Yeager, who drove in 2 runs with the double in the 3rd inning. Pete Demore and the Hokies made 6 consecutive trips to a regional. This one sent to deep left center, and on the run, Medina crashing into the wall. Another highlight reel grab.
Coach,
outstanding.
Eileen Morales told us in her interview, Holly Medina calls herself a ball hog, and there it is. She's just continuing to track down every fly ball that is out there. This one into left center. Set it back against the wall. That time a face plant against the wall, but she hangs on to it.
I mean, she is absolutely putting on a clinic in center field tonight for Georgia Tech.
I'll tell you, though, if you're in the circle and you have an outfielder that goes all out for anything that's in the air, they almost take it as an insult if something falls because it goes out there in the air. You love having those type of outfielders behind you.
Hopefully there's a lot of padding on that wall because she has slammed into it twice tonight.
Well, those walls are definitely way more padded now than they used to be. But she jumped up from the face plant into the wall.
With a smile
on her
face.
With a smile and looked like no pain whatsoever. I was fortunate, Alex. I got to play with Caitlin Lowe, who's one of the best, if not the best center fielder ever play the game. And just watching her track down balls, you knew if it went up in the air, if it's catchable, she's under it. And that's what Holly Medina looks like tonight as well.
Pitcher's best friend. There's Medina, the transfer from Cal. 2-2 meanwhile to Zoe Yeager. Bounces in there. And Virginia Tech has already scored 7 runs. It could easily be more than that. Again to left center, Medina. Much less effort than last time, but Medina has been the story in the outfield for the Yellow Jackets. Transfer getting it done, crashing into the wall here in Blacksburg, and holding on for the grab. Women's College World Series as coverage begins May 28th on ABC, ESPN, and ESPN2. Who will make it to OKC? And Kat, you and I have been discussing who's the best team in the nation right now. I mean, it's a big discussion because Oklahoma suddenly has lost 2 in a row. Texas, remember, lost 2 of 3 to the Sooners. Texas Tech just got upset in a midweek affair, losing to Texas State. It's wide open.
It is wide open, as you mentioned. Even though OU took the series in Texas, they lost the last game and the midweek to Oklahoma State. Texas Tech, not just the midweek to Texas State, also lost 1 to Utah last weekend. So 2 losses last weekend as well. Tennessee was in the top spot for a little while, and they've had some upset losses in the SEC play. So it's really right now truly up in the air, and you and I discussing a little bit. Someone that hasn't been in the conversation since the first couple weeks of season was Nebraska as well.
Yeah, getting overlooked maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
Jordy Fromm, I mean, they're automatically a true contender with her and a loaded offense. So chopped over to third off the bat of Tucker.
While they haven't been in the top 5 necessarily, Florida State still has been formidable. They had a long winning streak just disrupted last weekend, and Issa Torres, their shortstop, leading the country in batting average.
Well, and Pete DeMoore would say, don't forget about us, number 10 in the nation. I mean, you look at Virginia Tech's record, 37-6. All of those 6 games were extremely close affairs, half of them by 1 run, and all those losses by 10 total runs. I mean, they are a team to be feared in the postseason.
Well, they really are, but I think the only downfall, and as we mentioned, their strength of schedule not extremely high. They did play South Carolina early twice in season.
Ooh, what a grab by Rose, a hot shot. Excuse me, that's Lynch over at third.
Jordan Lynch just happened to be positioned perfectly for Lechber's spray chart. Almost handcuffed herself a little bit there, not able to flip the glove over.
Hard skipped a beat there.
Yeah. But back to your point of Virginia Tech, they are going to be a very viable force in the postseason. But really, 2 games against South Carolina opening weekend and 2 against Georgia, really the 2 biggest tests outside of ACC play that they've had.
One we forgot about, Alabama.
Yeah, Alabama took 2 of 3 from Texas. They got upset last week as well. Samford got their first ever victory at home against Alabama.
Should be an interesting final few weeks of the regular season, then the conference tournaments. And then the regionals get underway. 2-0 on the way to Reese Hunter, and now a 3-0 count to the senior catcher. Georgia Tech, I guess at least they've been efficient. 2 runs off just 3 singles. As a strike delivered. But again, Yellow Jackets looking for extra base hits here. Looking for base runners and starting to run out of time in game number 1. Fooled Hunter there as the count goes full.
Got another off-speed curveball, and when you can match your backdoor with hard with a slow, you get swings like that where Hunter sees it outside, but she commits before she can tell the speed differential. A nice pitch by Mazaron.
Mazaron has retired 5 in a row. 3 hits, couple of earned runs, 5 strikeouts and 2 walks so far tonight. A 2-out single for Hunter. Second base knock of the night. Well, our next All Access, the ACC Life, premieres Tuesday night. You'll get unprecedented access into the lives of student athletes, coaches, staff, parents, and fans. That's on at 10 Eastern Tuesday night right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Georgia Tech trying to take advantage with base runners, something they have been unable to do tonight. 0 for 7 with runners on. A pinch runner taking over at first for Hunter, Julia Marisi. And here's Paige Vukadinovic with 1 on and 2 away. Take strike 1. 0 for 2 so far tonight. Marisi over at first. Vukadinovic had been on fire this month heading into this series, hitting .625.
Well, Vukadinovic has a ton of speed, and we've seen her stand in and hit away, but right now is a chance to just put pressure on Virginia Tech's defense. Rose up the middle to cover the steal in case Marici takes off.
Vukadinovic to right field, and on the run, the grab is made by Mizell. So Virginia Tech says, oh yeah, Yellow Jackets, we got some great outfielders of our own, flashing the leather and showing off the speed in Blacksburg. Sunday will cap off a big 3-game baseball series between number 2 Georgia Tech and number 3 North Carolina in Chapel Hill. Tomorrow's game starts at noon Eastern. The series finale on Sunday at 1 on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Absolutely beautiful night here out at the ballpark, Tech Softball Park. Hometown fans enjoying it so far. 7-2 Hokies as we begin the bottom of the 6th inning. Castine leading off. Takes a strike, courtesy of Michaela Caulfield.
Well, Caulfield, her 2 innings of work, has been able to limit the damage of the Virginia Tech Hokies.
That one backhanded by Simon, and it gets away from Leshper. Castine heads over to second to start off the bottom half. Georgia Tech has made so many good defensive plays. That would have been a tough one. And then it got away from Leshper.
Well, the fielding of that was nice. And if that was a great throw, that was going to be another bang, bang, Sports Center type play. Unfortunately, the throw just gets away from Leshper. But you have to try to make that throw. You can't just eat it after fielding the ball as cleanly as Simon did.
They scored E6. Here comes Gabby Mizell. We have a pinch runner taking over at second. Blackwell replacing Castine. Lila Blackwell in scoring position. 0-1 on the way to Mizell. We were having the conversation a moment ago, Kat, about who's potentially the top team in the country, all the upsets. Well, how about this? Arkansas leading number 1 Oklahoma right now, 4-0 in the third. The Sooners have already dropped 2 in a row heading into this one.
Well, this game in Norman as well. So Arkansas putting it to them so far. Just 3 innings of work. I'm telling you, Alex, it's around the country. Anybody can beat anybody on any given day right now.
And they all have their strengths and weaknesses, as Tennessee has the pitching staff led by Pickens, still trying to get back into her prime form. Oklahoma with the offense. And we know what Virginia Tech's offense can do. And Texas Tech relying on Kennedy in the circle. It'll be interesting to see who's the last team standing. A 3-2 to Mizell. Sends one to right field. Grab made by Vukadinovich. Tagging and heading over to third is Blackwell. Oh, it's interesting. Virginia Tech scored 7 runs, but they haven't come up with a base hit since the 3rd inning.
Although Caulfield came in this game and has been able to keep them off balance. A couple good plays. We saw the dive in left field by Willer. But really, Caulfield has done a great job being able to work both sides of the plate, mix them off speeds. A different look from a left-handed pitcher a lot of times can make an offense take a little bit of time to adjust.
And we are going to have a pinch hitter, a familiar face, as Emma Mazzarone comes in to hit for the Hokies in place of Annika Rose. And originally recruited to this team as a hitter on the season. Batting .302 with 3 home runs. On inside, fouled off. 10 runs driven in on the year. Said she loves to do both. Favorite part of the game, being on the field at all times. I mean, she even tried to convince them to let her play the outfield, but they said, enough is enough. You can hit, you can get in the circle.
Well, sometimes it's just such a gamble with your stud pitchers hitting as well. Not just, a lot of people will be like, oh, someone will throw at them. And you don't get people that throw intentionally at your pitcher. But in the freak accident, something does come up in and out their hands, or even base running. It takes one wrong step and an ankle or a foot is, now taking him out of being able to pitch.
Mazzarone cranks one to center, right at Medina. Tagging and scoring is Blackwell as Virginia Tech makes it an 8-2 ball game. An RBI for Mazzarone.
Good solid contact there by the pitcher to get herself an RBI.
Back up to the top of the order. Bases empty, 2 away for Addison Foster, who has reached twice. And Caulfield done a nice job coming out of the pen 2 2/3 against one of the highest scoring teams in the nation. No hits allowed still and no earned runs allowed. I was about to say until now. That one does hit the base of the wall. And sliding in for a 2-out double is Addison Foster, reaching for the 3rd time tonight. The first hit allowed by Caulfield, first hit since the 3rd inning for Virginia Tech. One of the best doubles hitting teams in the nation. That is now 91 on the year for the Hokies. 3rd most in the country.
On the way Addison Foster approached that at bat, she was sitting on the inner half waiting for Caulfield to offer that backdoor curve.
Lynch to deep left center field, and the ball game is over. A walk-off homer for Jordan Lynch. The Hokies offense puts up a 10 spot in the series opener and a dominating 10-2 win over Georgia Tech.
Well, we talked about the sophomore for Virginia Tech. She goes down this pitch over the heart of the plate, but low. And she goes down and gets that, drives that to center field. Wasn't sure it was out. She was on her horse rounding first, but she left the yard to end this ball game.
Well, you know, if it was in the field of play, Medina would have gotten to it. But that one just out of her reach. Second home run of the night for the Hokies ends the ball game, as Virginia Tech improves to 38-6 on the year, 12-4 in the ACC. And as we said, needing to pile up the wins here in their hopes of potentially hosting a postseason series, looking to host a regional down the line. Games like this will certainly help, Kat.
Well, this is a great start to this series. They really were in control minus the top of the first. So for Virginia Tech, offensively, defensively, and even in the circle, hitting on all cylinders, didn't have to use more than one arm, so it sets them up nicely going into Saturday and Sunday.
Game 2 will take place tomorrow night, 7 Eastern, here from Tech Softball Park for Georgia Tech. They fall to 27-23 and 8-11 in conference play. For Kat Osterman, I'm Alex Slobe. We'll see you next time.